Get Warrior Tough. Mental Training 101 with Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman on 105.5 The Roar. And now back to Andrew and Dutch.
Round and round we go. It's the coaching carousel. I see it corporate too, man. How much time do we? I mean, man, Shevitz. We don't have time to get into all of it, but I would love to see people hold the mirror up and actually look at their own results before they start throwing stones at people's other folks' results. I mean, literally, what is your results? It just cracks me up. Here's a guy who's very good, gets thrown under the bus, and then they get a guy who's we don't know what he is. We just don't know.
Yeah. I always, obviously I have close ties with Clemson, but people always, they'll text me or they inbox me in the different forms of social media complaining about certain coaches at different institutions. And especially when institutions have repeated failures at the position, the coaching position, and they repeatedly fire and fire and fire. Say, have you ever considered the step above the coaches?
Right.
How about the sports supervisor?
How about it?
How about the athletic director? How about these people that continue to hire these quote-unquote bad coaches? Have we looked at the support that they're receiving? We looked at the resources they're receiving in comparison to similar universities in their cohort. As far as Clemson, you have NC State, you have Georgia Tech. You had, before they left the ACC, you had Maryland. You had different universities that fell on the same level,
right,
academically / athletically as Clemson, but they were receiving different levels of support. So if you expect me to compete with Georgia Tech, then I need to have similar resources. NC State, I need to have similar resources. Alabama, well, you better pipe up these resources if you expect me to compete with Alabama, right? So I encourage people to always look beyond just what you can see. We look at the players and the coaches, but we never look beyond that. But there's other levels of leadership that influence how well these organizations perform. We need to look deeper. We need to look harder. We need to open our third eye and pay attention.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I just want to kind of go back, just circle back around on this Kirby Smart thing. And I'm not taking shots at Kirby. This is just how the process works. Bill Belichick was a complete failure in his first time head coaching. Pete Carroll, failure. Nick Saban, he didn't start out winning a national championship. He had to work his way through the thing when he went to failure. We saw every one of these great coaches, and if you see great quarterbacks, if you see great anybody that performs well in their field, they had failure after failure after failure. The only difference is they just kept getting up and going to work and kept getting up and practicing their skill. They kept getting up and getting better and developing and training. That's the only, but there is a process. You don't just boom, I'm just, boom, look, I'm the greatest ever, and there's no process to it.
Yeah, the funny thing is Belichick, we call that a failure in Cleveland. But who's the real failure? Belichick moved on and showed what he can do, and Cleveland's doing the same thing that they were doing with Belichick.
Which goes back to your point about the organization and up 1, up 2, up 3 or whatever, right?
Further proof that when Belichick was there, it wasn't about Belichick. It was about their organization, because they're doing the same thing with new guys that they were doing with Belichick. When this new organization that Belichick joined is doing something they didn't do without Belichick.
Same old song, different verse.
Yep.
I'm with you, man. All right, Kobe's out. He's retiring. He's done.
Oh.
Right.
I watched some of the game last night, and I don't want to say I'm surprised, but there's a part of me that's surprised at the way he's going out. To me, he's going out all wrong. Now that he's identified he's going out, it's like he's going out guns blazing. He went 4 of 17 from the 3-point line last night. And I was joking with one of my buddies. No one should be shooting 17 3-pointers unless your name is Curry. There's not a person in the league right now. I'll give a slight edge to Kevin Durant. But is there a player outside those two that should be taking 17 3-pointers in a game?
I don't know, man.
And Andrew, the 4 out of 17 actually increased his 3-point shooting percentage for the season.
Oh, my gosh. All right, but yeah, this has been an issue with him. And again, we've talked about this over the last couple of years when you were on Out of Bounds with Kwok, and Hey, this guy, he's not a team player. It's all about, at this point in his career, I don't know if he ever was or not. I don't really know him personally, but just to watch what we're seeing play out publicly, not really a big team guy.
No, never. Even back to there's a couple incidents. Number one, the draft. Him coming out, getting drafted, he demanded a trade so he wouldn't go to the Hornets. That was number one. I'm not playing for Charlotte. So, okay, so you're this great player, but you don't want to go to a team that needs you, a team that rebuild. I don't remember Michael Jordan saying, I'm not going to play for Chicago. They were horrible when he got there. And so has the 99% of the other players in the league.
Hey, man, Cam Newton at the Panthers, they were at the bottom. That's how they got him.
Absolutely. It's the story of sports. You're the best player available. You're going to the worst team. So you demand out of there. You get shipped to an established organization like the Lakers, which is going to accelerate your career, accelerate your opportunities to win, make you look good because you get to play with the likes of Shaquille O'Neal and stuff like that. So you're getting all this cachet ahead of time that you hadn't earned, not a team player. Then when Shaq leaves and the team stinks, oh, by the way, you push Shaq out. When the team stinks, you demand a trade. So again, you're trying to cut and run again from a bad situation. They make changes to appease you because you don't want to go through any real work. The team gets great again, and now you're getting to the point at the end of your career. I don't know if you remember the statement he made, Andrew. He said, "I'll never be a 15-point a game scorer. If I can't score 25 a game, I'm not playing." What does that even mean? If that's not the epitome of selfishness, I don't know what is.
So, all right. So, Sayonara, Sunset Ride. Tiger Wood today said some stuff. Tiger said some stuff the last couple of days, I guess it is now, last couple of days, with his self-talk. Is he resetting expectations? Is he you and I talked off air. You said he's trying to get some normalcy in his life. Maybe, tell me, what are your thoughts on this? Because for me, the way he's talking, it's already over, man.
Yeah, he's done. He's trying to do the impossible. There's no normalcy, buddy. You've already set the stage of who you are and what you've done. All those things are in there now. You can't take those things out. It's like he's trying to. I think he's finally been humbled, but I think he's humbled so late in the process that it doesn't matter now. It's too late, buddy. You've already set all these things in these things on a course where it can only end one way. I can't get on it's like me getting on my deathbed. There's only one that I can at the last moment be forgiven by. The world isn't going to forgive you if you raise hell for your entire life. Then on your deathbed, you go, "I'm sorry." Well, the world isn't going to forgive you. There's only one that's going to forgive you that way. The world isn't. So it's like Tiger Woods has come to this realization that he's not going to be who he was ever again. And it's like it hit him like a ton of bricks, and now he sounds defeated and broken, and maybe he's looking for us to forgive him, but that's not how it works, man. You're who you are now, and you're gonna have to walk in this until it's officially over. Until you put down the clubs, this is who you are.
Is that that's kind of sad, but this is that external identity and internal identity thing, isn't it? That same thing that we talk about in the phalanx all the time about who are you, who do you want to be, who do you want, internally, not an external. I mean, I think Peyton Manning's struggling with that right now, man. I think he, that's why he got in the jam that he did. He's out there playing so hurt that if it was 10 years ago, they wouldn't have put him on the field to play that last game like he played, would they?
Nope. And the funny thing about it is there's a good and a bad. There's no going back as an athlete. Now, as we always talk about, you can go elsewhere with a new vision, with a new identity and all these things and dominate. Maybe they go into business. Maybe they go into ownership. Maybe they go into management. But as a player, it's over. It's over.
You cannot come to terms with that.
Yeah.
So but every day, I mean, this happens with moms. People are like, "I'm a mom." Oh, what do you do when the kids are out of the house and then you're still, you're a mom, now what? That was your identity. See, it's not just athletes. It's all across, people, cops, right? Most cops, 80% of them die within 3 years of retirement because their identity was the badge and the gun. I'm seeing this. We've talked about Brett Favre, right? Yeah, I can still play. I'm back. I'm in. I'm out. I mean, he even went to his sworn enemy, right, and went to play for them with the Vikings and comes out on the field at Lambeau to beat them. I mean, that's like, that'd be like me signing up with Putin. I don't get it, man.
I think that in Tiger Woods and in Peyton Manning's case, like I said, it's over. But it's not over. It's only over in the terms of football. Like you said, if you want to recognize finally that you were more than that and you move on into another realm, it can be done. But you have to, that's the first thing you have to do. You have to let that stuff go. And that mom that her kids are all gone off to college now has to find out who she really is now.
Yeah, that's why it's so dangerous to wait till the end. And we've talked about this before. Now, it's like Kobe. What shot does he have, man? What, guys that have done it good. You see guys like, Chris Collinsworth and, who made the jump from, you don't even remember he was a player anymore because he was not a great player. He was good, but he wasn't great. But now he's a great broadcaster. Whether you love him or hate him, I mean, he's at the top of his game. People kind of forget, John Madden was a coach before he was John Madden.
And the thing with the Tiger Woods, going back to his example, is I don't want to hear that sob story until you hang it up. Because right now, all you're doing is hanging it up in the game. You've officially hung it up with your self-talk, but you're still standing in front of me with golf clubs. So now I have to watch you play this pitiful golf with this pitiful attitude until you finish, when you should have just waited until you finish, because the world is not forgiving. Every weekend when he goes out and he plays funky golf, we're going to let him know that he played funky golf.
Well, what's that old, saying, live by the sword, die by the sword, right? I mean, you made your whole thing. Hubris, dude. Like you said, man, it's just, now you're trying to get humility, and I appreciate it, but it's time to exit stage left even.
There's an amount of hell that you can raise that humility ain't coming. It ain't coming. It's not going to affect us. Now, we all have raised a certain level of it.
Right.
But there is a line that you can cross.
Yeah, and I think people love, that's why we see in movies, we call it, they get their comeuppance, or the karma bus always makes all her stops. I mean, you just kind of watch and see. That's why I appreciate guys like, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. They always take the high road. They show respect for their opponent. They never ride, they might trash talk them to their face, but you never see them acting like that in the press. They're always, Saban saying, what a great team that, what was it, Charleston Southern? It could be, it's a big deal, and we almost got killed by Georgia Southern, and so we got to, right? Everyone, they show respect to their opponent. Whether you believe it or not, at least go out and show respect. If you want to I'm not saying give respect, but I'm saying show respect.
And they don't cross the line.
No.
Even if you get Saban on a tirade next week where he's angry, he's done enough. He has enough. What do you call it?
Cachet.
Beans in a cup. Yep, beans in a cup.
Yeah.
But he's not going to cross that line, so he's going to be given a benefit of the doubt if he gets angry one time or if he says something. So you got to do that throughout life. You got to get those beans in a cup, and I'm afraid Tiger Woods doesn't have those beans in a cup.
Right. So it's about controlling yourself and getting complete control of your body, mind, and emotions, and then pushing that out, and then you get the benefit of the doubt. And I wish an hour's gone. I wish I could spend more time on this. We didn't even get to talk about the NFL officiating, which is just driving me insane. Maybe we'll do it next week because I don't think it's going to change between then and now.
I was going to say they're going to stink this weekend, so don't worry. We can talk about it next week.
Gosh, man, that's just I got to say this before we go. I feel like as everything is viewed in New York, that Goodell is like Caesar back in the Gladiators of Rome, and he puts his thumb down or his thumb up depending on which way we want the call to go. There's no actual real rules or anything. I know, it's my truth, but whatever, it's all good. Dutch, we got to go, man. I love you, buddy.
Love you too, my man.
I'll see you next week.